Hello friends, on this day I made a 15 bean soup. I just started off by cooking my beans in my pressure cooker. I just want to make sure there's plenty of water and they're well covered. I use the bean setting on the pressure cooker. This is the 15 bean soup I use. It does have a seasoning packet in it. You can use that, absolutely. And if you really want to cut the budget, you don't have to use as many ingredients as I have. You can just use an onion, chop it up really finely. And then add that after you cook your beans into your soup. But I have some carrots, some kale. I have a can of diced tomatoes with the chilies. I have some tomato paste. I only used half of this, so that's 3 ounces that I used. I have some smoked seasoning. I have 2 bouillon cubes. I wish I would have doubled this and used 4, but I have a chicken bouillon and a chicken and tomato bouillon. I have a little jar of hot sauce just to give it a little kick. It was not too spicy at all, so I don't regret using that. And then I have this vegetable soup mix that I'm just going to throw in there because I have it. But again, if you just want to use the 15 bean soup packet and an onion is like 20 cents. You could really make a pretty decent soup for under $3 that will feed a whole family. But I have these extra ingredients and I am going to use them to kind of beef this up. I also used an onion and I used some potato here shown. And then when I made my soup, you'll see later that I used some garlic powder and some Italian dry herb mix, and I also use black cracked pepper in my soup that I'm not showing here. So I chopped up all my veggies and I'm gonna fry them up real quick. And this is a duck fat. You can use butter, oil, whatever you have on hand. So this is where if you just want to use onion to cut the budget or whatever you have, this is where you're going to cook that. You can also add a protein if you want to add a meat. Bacon would go really nice in this, or smoked turkey, or sausage or anything like that, but you want to cook it beforehand. So this is where you would do that, as well as cook your veggies. So you would just cook your meat, put it aside, then cook your veggies like I am, and then add everything together in your pot. So after I cooked my veggies really well, I added some flour. This is just all-purpose flour. This is just to thicken it up so I don't have a real liquidy soup. So this will give the soup a really nice consistency. So as you see, I added about 3 heaping spoonfuls. And then I just mixed it up. So my thought process here is just to cook the veggies mostly with the flour, and then I'm going to add water. So I boiled water on the side in my electric kettle. You can use a vegetable broth or a chicken broth here. I'm using water. I added those bouillon cubes, so I think that that kind of makes the same consistency of a broth with the bouillon. After I added my water, I just added enough that I thought it was the way I wanted it to be, so I didn't really measure it out. But I would think I added about a quart maybe of water. Um, so after I did that, I went ahead and put the lid on, and I gave it about 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of finish cooking the potatoes. And after that time, I just added half of my 15 bean soup mixture. You'll see I saved the other half. I put it in my freezer to serve us another night, but half of it was more than enough with all the other ingredients. But if you don't have all the ingredients, then you might want to go ahead and use all the 15 bean soup mixture. So here's the other half of my 15 bean soup. And so at this point, I added my half of my beans and I added my chopped kale. I thought I filmed that, but it's not here. So I apologize, but just know that after I cooked the potatoes for about 15 minutes, I added half the beans and my chopped kale went in last because it will cook really fast. If you want to use spinach, you can use that too. I know spinach is really inexpensive at Aldi. But you want to add it last. And so I just made some rice in my rice cooker, and this is how I served it. This was a lot, so it fed us for dinner, and then I portioned some out in containers, and it will get me through my lunches for the week. So I will have this every day for lunch at work as well. So I'll be done with 15 bean soup by the end of the week, that is for sure. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this cooking video. It is an inexpensive meal, and again, you don't have to use all the ingredients I did. You can cut it back a little bit, but I had these things in my house, so I went ahead and added it. It's a good kind of way to use up some leftover veggies. I will see you very soon. Take care and be well.